Hello my friends, it is the 12th of September 2007 and today's issue comes from not only a new studio but also a slightly new format. Now usually I'm on the warpath against the New World Order, fighting tyranny and injustice where it exists, but in order to be able to fight tyranny you have to be in good health, and this is saying that we are in danger. From Reuters, posted last night, industry-funded study calls aspartame safe. Now for those of you who don't know what aspartame is, allow me to explain. Aspartame is a sweetener, artificial, non-saccharide. It is the methyl ester of the dipeptide of amino acids, aspartic acid and phenylene. Don't know what that is? Basically it's NutraSweet. If you buy a product that says no added sugar, you can be guaranteed you will find aspartame in it. Now before I move on to the article, allow me to go very quickly through the history of aspartame, very briefly, just so you understand exactly where we're coming from. Aspartame was discovered in 1965 by James M. Schattler, a chemist working for J.D. Serling and Company. He had synthesized aspartame in the course of producing an anti-ulcer drug candidate. He discovered the sweet taste serendipitously when he licked his finger, which had accidentally become contaminated with the aspartame. Following initial safety testing, there was a debate as to whether these tests had indicated that aspartame may cause cancer in rats. As a result, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, did not approve its use as a food additive in the United States for many years. However, in 1980, the FDA convened a public board of inquiry consisting of independent advisors charged with examining the purported relationship between aspartame and brain cancer. The public board of inquiry concluded aspartame does not cause brain damage but recommended against its use at the time, citing unanswered questions about cancer in laboratory rats. See, even though they couldn't prove that there was a link between the human brain cancer and aspartame, there was an awful lot of lab rats dropping dead of brain cancer. At that point in time, there was no requirement to place in FDA regulations to include brain research in the approval process, only cancer research. In 1981, US President Ronald Reagan appointed Arthur Hull Hayes as FDA Commissioner. Citing from Japanese study that had not been available to the members of the Public Board of Inquiry the year before, Hayes approved aspartame for use in dry goods only, and then further releasing it for use in drinks, baked goods and confectionery 2 years later. Before we move on to the article, I will give you a quick look at the reason, the main reason, that aspartame is such a controversial subject for so many. In 1995, FDA Epidemiology Branch Chief Thomas Wilcox reported that aspartame complaints represented 75% of all reports of adverse reactions to substances in the food supply from 1981 to 1995. And this led up to a total of 92 different symptoms and health conditions reported by physicians and consumers. Alright, you know a little bit about the history and you know what the major complaint is. Let's find out what this article said. Industry-funded study calls aspartame safe. A review of 500 studies conducted over a quarter century has turned up no credible evidence that the widely used artificial sweetener aspartame is unsafe, the industry-funded research released on Tuesday showed. A panel of American, British and Dutch experts rejected the notion that aspartame causes cancers, seizures, neurological damage or learning problems or contributes to obesity. The panel did conclude that some people might be prone to headaches after consuming it. The group did not conduct original research but assessed existing studies on the safety of aspartame, first approved by the FDA in 1981. It is widely used in soft drinks and sold in packets for use in coffee, tea or on food. The panel found consumption of it increasing but said it was safe even amongst the heaviest users, whether it be adults or children. Controlled and thorough scientific studies confirm aspartame safety and find no credible link between consumption of aspartame and levels found in the human diet and conditions relating to nervous system and behavior, nor any other symptoms or illnesses. The researchers said in the paper published in the Journal of Critical Reviews in Toxicology. There is no credible evidence that aspartame is carcinogenic, they added. Since its approval, some people have argued that aspartame causes a variety of illnesses, and various websites such as www.sweetpoison.com denounce the sweetener. And I'll explain why very shortly. The researchers rejected the findings of a study published in June by Italian scientists that showed aspartame may cause leukemia, lymphoma, and breast cancer in rats. University of Maryland food and nutrition professor Magnuson said that the study was undermined by numerous methodological and interpretation errors. After the Italian study was published, the FDA said it had no reason to alter its conclusion that aspartame is safe as a general-purpose sweetener. Magnuson said one possible area of concern was research indicating some may get headaches after consuming aspartame. We found conflicting results in those studies, with some showing no effects and others that did have some effect, suggesting that there may be a small subset of the population with some sensitivity to aspartame-induced headaches. Over the past 11 months, the panel weighed more than 500 human and animal studies, articles and reports on health effects of aspartame performed in the past 25 years, including unpublished research given to the FDA and U.S. Health and Human Services Department. Certainly as one of the most studied compounds ever, panel chairman Dr. William Waddell of the University of Louisville told reporters, saying that the panel's 98-page report should put to rest safety concerns relating to aspartame. The panel's work was funded by Japanese food and seasoning giant Ajinomoto Company, a maker of aspartame. Magnuson said the company had no control over who was on the panel or how their work was done, and panel members did not know who was funding the work until it was done. I have no qualms in terms of who funded the study, Magnuson told reporters. It was completely free for the panelists to make whatever conclusion they had. Aspartame, developed by the GT Serine Company, is used in over 6,000 food products worldwide. Mersac, another leading aspartame company with the brands Equal, Canderel and NutraSweet. I'll go over a few points. First off, this was not original research. This is collective, edited, and subject to interpretation. They didn't bother to do any of their own research, which is exactly where the controversy comes in. When independent researchers begin doing studies on aspartame, that is when we see things like tumours, leukemia, various forms of cancer, and other conditions beginning to show through in lab animals. But the point here is, not only was this research not original and was selectively edited, but it was funded by one of the biggest manufacturers of aspartame. Now, it is well known, lots and lots of independent research has been done to it. It is, without a doubt, a carcinogenic substance, which causes, in the most recent studies, said also to cause brain lesions. This is a dangerous neurotoxin, or as Dr. Russell Blaylock put it in his book, excitotoxin. It causes the brain to go wrong. In lab rats, it has also caused genetic defects. This article said that aspartame caused headaches in some. If it caused headaches, then what do you think long-term exposure does to you? Is it really that far out of the realm of believability? If you are sensible, you'll look at all the research, and there is a very big growing body of research that's showing, yes, this stuff is dangerous. Yes, this stuff is having an effect. What are you going to do about it? There are lots of books and independent research available to the public. And these are just a few of them. Watch the credits for further details. And also look at my website for further details. On the screen now. Now, I'm not going to tell you what you should be eating and what you shouldn't. But all I'm asking is that don't let these people, who are being funded by the very people that are creating the chemical they're supposed to be testing, tell you what you should or should not be eating. Go out and do the research for yourself, as I've always said. You find out for yourself, inform yourself. Because this rubbish is just that. I thank you for joining us again. Peace out.